Recording started.
Okay guys, so we're going to get right into this, and in just a minute we'll get into the team activity stuff. But first of all, we're going to talk about this law of conservation of mass. And so you guys can hear me okay at this point? Okay, right on. So I wrote at the top here, don't break the law of conservation of mass. We can also call it the law of conservation of matter. So what's that law all about again? Well, what it means is that the mass of the reactants in any kind of chemical reaction are equal to the mass of the products. So you kind of get the idea by looking at the scale. And would you guys agree when you look at this reaction here that the mass of the reactants equal the mass of the products? Yeah, sure they do, because 12 and 32 equals 44, that's the reactants, and the products are 44. Yeah, looks like a machine you guys use with the Play-Doh, eh? Or used to use. Okay, so we got our first question here. Or should have our first question here. This one seems to be showing a blank for some reason. Okay. Guys, I got to check this out because for some reason the questions aren't showing up. So I might have uploaded the wrong file. So just give me a second here, okay? Sorry about that. Okay, let's see if this works any better. There we go, there's the questions. Okay, so you guys can see your name tag there. Okay, so you can see we have the two teams. We've got the land creatures and the sea creatures. And so just remember, Deadly Squid, you're going to be with the land creatures up top. So maybe we'll just place you there. Okay, I just want to ask you guys, are you guys all able to move your name tag? If you could just move it just a sec, or just a little bit rather, not a lot. Okay, maybe give me the check mark if you want to just click on the green check mark if you're able to do that. So again, just move it a little bit. Okay, good stuff. So one thing I wanted to mention, guys, is the way I set this up, this question in the middle, you see how much space it takes up? Now what happens if you move your label onto that, it kind of disappears. So I know there's not a lot of space, but if you guys could try to move in any kind of space that's not overlapping the rectangle there, if you know what I mean. So any space on the screen that's not overlapping that rectangle, then your name tag won't disappear. Okay? All right, so let's go for the first question then. And I guess we don't have Kung Fu Panda here or Cougar Claws. They might join us later on. So anyways, if you guys could just move to where you think the answer should be. And I want to also explain there's a mistake here. It says how many grams of sulfur, and it should be how many grams of iron. Okay, so you guys can just read over the question. Maybe I'll just read it out loud as well. So while studying the law of conservation of mass, Tyrrell studied the following chemical equation. So we have iron plus sulfur producing iron sulfide. He determined that 8 grams of sulfur was used up in the reaction and 24 grams of iron sulfide was produced in the reaction. Based on this information, how many grams of iron do you think were involved in the reaction? So what do you guys think? Yeah, I remember that song Inky Octopus. They used to play that song on the radio when I was a kid. Everybody was kung fu fighting? Okay, so as soon as you guys are ready, you can move to the place on the screen where you think the answer is. And maybe put a check mark beside your name as soon as you've chosen your answer. Okay, so we're just waiting for Inky Octopus and Deadly Squid. Okay, Inky Octopus, did you move already? I think I saw that Deadly Squid move already. Okay, so far it looks like we have 2 A's and the rest are C's. Is that right? Okay, what I want to give you guys a chance to do now, okay, Awesome Aardvark is a C. Okay, so I think everybody's a C other than Inky Octopus, am I right? Okay, what I want to give you guys a chance to do is, after this question, we won't do it on this question, but I'll give you guys a chance, if the questions turn out kind of roughly 50-50, I'll give you guys a chance to discuss things and kind of defend your position a bit. But it looks like most people are saying C. Okay, and Awesome Aardvark has moved over to C, moved over to A. Okay, the actual answer is C. So let's see who won that one. Oh, Awesome Aardvark moved back again. Oh, this is not fair here. Okay, so let's see. Bengal Tiger, Pistol Shrimp, Deadly Squid. Okay, Deadly Squid is a land creature. Hey, Awesome Aardvark, sorry, you moved after the bell. So it looks like it's 1-0 for, sorry about that, 1-0 for the sea creatures. Okay, we're off to a good start. Yay for the sea creatures. Okay, on to the next screen. So maybe I'll just briefly explain that one before we go, guys. So the way this worked is we had 8 grams of sulfur, right? So I'm just going to put that down, 8 grams, and 24 grams of the product, which was iron sulfide. And we asked, how much iron do we have? Well, that's got to be 16 grams, because when we add together 16 and 8, that's going to be 24. So does that make sense to everyone now? Okay, good stuff. Okay, we'll go on to the next page. So this is a similar type of question, guys. A solid mass of 10 grams is mixed with 40 grams of a solution. A chemical reaction takes place and a gas is produced. Okay, that's really important. The final mass of the mixture remaining in the beaker is 35 grams. What was the mass of the gas released? So again, as soon as you make your choice, put on the check mark. Okay, Pistol Shrimp we got. Inky Octopus. Bengal Tiger. Awesome Aardvark. We're just waiting for Killer Shark and Deadly Squid. Okay, so we're all done? Yeah, don't forget your check marks, eh? Okay, so let's see. It looks like everyone's in answer B, am I right? Reminds you of Mr. B. It looks like everyone has B. Alright, you guys are right. The answer is B. Good stuff. So obviously you learned from the last one as well. And the thing to notice about this one, guys, is Yeah, totally. The thing to notice about this one is when the gas is released, it's going to look like the products are actually lighter than the reactants, right? Because let's say you had a beaker and gas was produced, that gas is going to like bubble out of there, and so because of that, it's going to look like the products are lighter than the reactants were. But if you take into account the mass of the gas, they're actually going to be equal. Does that make sense? Okay, awesome. So we'll go on to the next page. So we got 1 point for each team. Good stuff. All right. Now we're going to talk about different sorts of chemicals that react with acids, and both bases and metals react with acids. Okay, also remember that the stronger the base, the stronger the reaction with an acid will be. So whenever acids and bases react with each other, they neutralize each other, right? And you guys remember that acids have low pH. Do you remember how low their pH is? What numbers the pH is going to be for an acid? Okay, 0 to 6.9, good. And how about for a base? 7.1 to 14, good stuff. And when they react together, they're going to produce a neutral pH, which of course is 7, right? That's the pH of water. And have you guys ever messed around with vinegar and baking soda before? You know, put them in like a bottle, put a cork in the top, shake it up, and or you can put wheels on it or something like that and make some sort of a car out of it. Cool stuff. Yeah, I used to love doing that. Okay, so next question, guys. A number of materials were tested to determine whether they reacted with acids. Which group number or column number of elements would react well with acids because they are metals? Doesn't like it anymore, eh? Well, I used to do some even crazier stuff than that. I would make cannons with lighter fluid, and they would go put a tennis ball on the top, and they'd go about a quarter mile high or maybe half a mile. So yeah, wasn't the best thing to do. You've done worse, eh? Well, it's just I think one time somebody had one of those cannons, and the pop cans, like they were duct taped together, and then they fell over and it went in someone's face, so not good. But one time I used that, and I was in a park, and the tennis ball went up, and a lady was riding by on her bike, and it went about just a few feet away from her, so yikes. Don't tell anyone that. 16 gauge to an old gas. Gas TV? What's a gas TV? It's got me curious here. Oh, okay. Yikes. Okay, so guys, what do you think about this question? Which group number of elements would react well with acids because they are metals? You think it's group number 1, 17, 18, and 19. And please remember to give it the old check mark this time. Think about on what side of the periodic table metals are found. Are they found on the left side or the right side? Okay, killer shark is gone. Okay, that's all right. So far killer shark. Anybody else? Okay. Pistol shrimp, you're on answer D as well?
You have new mail.
So far just pistol shrimp and killer shark have gone, am I right? Here guys, I'm just going to move these just to make sure I know who's gone and who hasn't. So far these three guys have gone and chosen answer D, am I right? Okay, So far it's just Pistol Shrimp on answer C, and these two guys on answer D. Am I right? You guys correct me if I'm wrong on that. Okay, Pistol Shrimp is answer A. Okay, so the answer for this one should be, well, I'll tell you what, this is probably a good one, guys, to give you guys a chance to try to defend your answer. So the people who've answered, I'm going to give you guys just a chance to discuss it, and then we'll see what everybody else thinks, okay? So the people who've answered, can you give kind of a reason for why you chose that answer? Okay, you just thought A was good? Okay, well, does anybody else want to change answers based on what's been presented so far? Okay, so Killer Shark was saying initially the higher the number, so you meant the higher the column, which would be further to the right. Okay, but then now you're saying further to the left. What do you guys think it is? Do you think metals are further on the left or the right? Okay, does everybody agree? So what do you guys think the answer should be? Okay, well the answer is actually A. It's going to be group number 1. Because like Killer Shark was saying, it was a good guess. Because like Killer Shark was saying, metals are on the left side, right? And we just said earlier on that metals react well with acids. Okay? So that's why it's got to be answer 1. And actually, answer D, column 19, there actually is no 19. The highest you go is 18. And that's what they call the inert gases, you know, like helium and stuff like that don't react very well with other gases. Okay, so we're going to give that one to the sea creatures. And just remember, metals on the left side. Both columns 1 and 2 are very reactive metals, and we'll talk about that later on. Okay, so does that make sense now, guys? Cool. All right, we'll go on to the next one then. Kind of related question. Which of the following substances react most strongly with acids? What do you think? And I'm just going to take Kung Fu Panda and Cougar Claws out of there so I'm not confused. Okay. So, Pistol Shrimp says A, everybody else says C. All right. So, we've got 4 A's, 2 C's, and the answer is, drum roll. Oh, now we got more A's. Okay, the answer is A. And so, let's see who has the most. We have Pistol Shrimp, Killer Shark, Sea Creatures got it. All right, Sea Creatures are off to a lead, 4-1. But there's lots of time, so. Okay, so guys, the reason why sodium hydroxide, remember that's a really common base, right? The reason why sodium hydroxide reacts really well with an acid, remember we said the stronger the base, the more it reacts with an acid, and the stronger the base, the higher, closer it is to 14. So that's why this one's going to react the most strongly with an acid. Okay? So we shall move on. Okay. The next question says, when a pool manager tests the water, some water, with phenol red, okay, so we can test different solutions with different kind of pH indicators. One of them is called phenol red. It turned pink. In order to neutralize the water in the pool manager should add, what do you think they should add? Okay, and again, I'm just going to move these guys out of here. Make them disappear. There we go. Hey, I guess there is a use for that. It kind of makes things disappear. That's cool. All right, so we got a whole bunch of A's, and this is question 5, right? A whole bunch of A's. Inky Octopus says B, and the answer is A. Okay, so the winner is land creatures on this one. Good stuff. Comeback time. So the reason why it's A is because when the pool manager tested the water and found that phenol red turned pink, that's a base, right? And what do we neutralize a base with? We're going to neutralize it with an acid. Okay, so does that make sense, Inky Octopus, why we're going to use an acid to neutralize it? Because the phenol red shows us that we have a base, right? Does that make sense? Okay, good stuff. On to the next one. Okay, we're going to talk about corrosion and combustion. Corrosion, you get a lot of that in Ontario where I used to live because they use salt a lot more on the roads instead of sand like they use here. And okay, so corrosion is rusting, right? Just another word for rusting. It happens very slowly for the most part. It requires oxygen and water, whereas in contrast, combustion takes place a lot more quickly, and combustion could be either burning or an explosion, sort of stuff that Deadly Squid was talking about before, and it also requires oxygen. Okay, so both of them require oxygen, and rusting also requires water. So let's go on to the question. So which of the following is true? A, combustion requires oxygen and water. B, corrosion requires water only. C, only combustion requires oxygen. Or D, none of the above. Okay, and I'm just going to get rid of these guys again. Okay, so we've got, very interesting, okay, that's cool. We've got 3 C's and 3 D's. I just want to give you guys a chance to kind of express your thinking on this. Could you guys tell us what your thinking was on why you chose the answer you chose? And then we can see if anybody wants to switch. Kung Fu Panda. Back to where you belong. Oops. Okay. Alright, so we've got Inky Octopus. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of D's here. This is question number 6, right? So Inky Octopus says A, everybody else is D, and the answer is D. So the land creatures take another one, and so the score is 4-3, my friends. Good stuff. Too late. Okay, so the reason why it's none of the above, okay, let's just look at the answers one at a time. Combustion requires oxygen and water. No, it doesn't require water, right? If you're going to explode something, it's only oxygen. Corrosion requires water only. No, if you're going to have rusting, it requires oxygen as well, right? Okay, only combustion requires oxygen. That's not true because so does corrosion. And so it's none of the above. Okay? Quick as a leopard. We almost had a snow leopard, but I think Bengal tiger was thinking of being snow leopard, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so now, guys, we're going to talk about metals and nonmetals and ionic and molecular compounds. Okay, so if you've got a molecular compound, it's made up of 2 nonmetals. And do you remember what side of the periodic table the nonmetals are found on? The right side, good. If you have an ionic compound, you've got a metal from the left side combined with a non-metal from the right. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So here's a molecular compound. Again, we have two non-metals. That's what these two are, forming carbon dioxide. Okay, an ionic compound. Again, we have a metal combined with a non-metal, and we've got an ionic compound, which is salt. Okay, so remember some differences between molecular compounds and ionic compounds. Excuse me. The properties they have, the way they behave, ionic compounds have a really high melting point. Like if you stick some salt in some sort of a burner, it's going to take a long time to melt it. I remember doing that in the lab once. It's also got a high boiling point, and ionic compounds also conduct electricity really well. So of course, if you take something like table salt, NaCl, you stick it in water, it conducts electricity better, and that's why lie detector tests work really well, right? Because we have salt in our sweat, and so that conducts the electricity for a lie detector test. Okay, so all these things that are true for ionic compounds are not true for molecular compounds. So, moving along here, choose all the numbers that apply to ionic substances. Okay, and while you're doing that, I'm just going to move these guys. Sorry, awesome aardvark, I accidentally moved you. Okay, what question are we on? Number 7. Ooh, we better hurry up. Okay, so it looks like we have a whole mess of B's. 1C. Okay. So the answer is in fact B, and let's see why it is. So that is another one for sea creatures. Okay, the reason why it's C, its answers 1 and 3. Okay, so all numbers that are ionic substances. Sorry, I said it's C, it's B. Okay, its answers number 2 and 3. Ionic substances have a high melting and boiling point, but they are not poor conductors, they're good conductors, and first and second elements in the compound are metals. Okay, so that's not true. One is a metal and one is a non-metal for ionic substances. Okay? Alright, let's move on, guys. I just realized we've got a fair amount to cover here. I got one other quick video I want to show you guys too. It's pretty cool. Okay, identify which statement below is not true about molecular and ionic substances. What do you guys think? Okay, guys, you gotta guess. Otherwise, the other team will win. Okay, let's see. Pistol Shrimp has answer A. Killer Shark has answer A. And Inky Octopus, are you on answer C? Alright, well, it looks like sea creatures got it right, because everybody else chickened out. Just kidding. Okay, so that's another one for the sea creatures. If you don't play, you can't get it right, guys. Okay, so let's see why it's answer A. Why is it answer A? Why is that not true? Because molecular compounds are not formed by two metals joining together. They're formed by two non-metals joining together. Okay, so does that make sense, guys? And the other things are all true. Okay, let's move on. So guys, any one of these that you have a bit of trouble with while we're doing the session, when you go to the PDF file later on and you practice all these, really try these ones. Hey, there's Kung Fu Panda. Did you just get here? Okay. So, if Kung Fu Panda is here, then we have one more land creature. So maybe what we'll say is, we'll say that deadly squid can play part of the time for the land creatures and part of the time for the sea creatures. Let's say for the next, I don't know, 6 questions, deadly squid can continue playing for the land, and then after that for the sea creatures. Does that sound okay? So then we'll have things kind of even. Okay, next question. So elements are organized in the periodic table according to their common properties, right? And so all the elements that are in the same column are known as a group. All the elements in the same row are known as a family. Okay? Now, they have common properties if they're in the same group or in the same family. Overall, if they're in the same group, their properties are more similar to each other. And the closer they are, like beside each other, the more similar their properties are going to be. Okay? So we already know from what we were talking about earlier that the group 1 elements, metals, are going to have certain properties. We looked at some of them already. Okay, they're going to be metals, they conduct electricity, and they form +1 ions when they are part of compounds. They also react strongly with oxygen. Okay? So we've just looked at basically how groups, in other words columns, and rows, which are families, share common properties. Okay, I just want to show you guys a really quick video. So sodium, did you guys know this? Sodium can actually burn in water. And I want to show you guys a video of this. This is pretty cool. So I will just get the URL here. And then I will paste it up here. Okay, this time I'm going to remember to take my Okay, so that one was short and sweet, but it was pretty cool, eh? Now, tell me, can you guys think about any kind of event that's going on in the world right now? There's some event, a really big event, that you think you could possibly use sodium for because of the property you just saw right there? Any ideas? Fire starter, yeah, okay. So what event is taking place in the world right now that you could possibly use this for? There's some tragedy that's taken place in the world. Can you think of what I'm thinking about? Okay. Well, what I'm thinking about, guys, is there's been that oil spill, right, in the southern states. And so, you know, sometimes they set oil spills on fire. So I was thinking, hey, what if you added some sodium and speed up the reaction? And you know what? I looked on the internet, I did a search, and I noticed that somebody actually has a patent out on that, using sodium to clean up oil spills by creating a fire. So I don't know if they're going to use that someday, but I was thinking that would be kind of cool, as long as it doesn't do any damage. I'm not really sure if there's anything that could happen, but anyways, just a thought. Okay, so on to the next question, guys. For each of the following, please write a 1 if the substance is low in its ability to conduct electricity, and a 2 if it is a strong conductor. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. It's a numerical response answer. Just going to take away a few of these here. Okay, so remember, deadly squid, you're still playing for... Oh yeah, I guess we can't choose. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so killer shark. Yeah, there's bad stuff going on there, eh? Okay, so far we have 3 guesses. Any other guesses, guys? Sounds like a good answer, or a good focus of your essay, I should say. Okay, so we've got 3 answers of 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay. Okay, let's see. want to see who's... So that is the right answer, 2112. So we've got one sea creature has it right, one land creature, another land, so that's 3. It looks like the land creature's got that one. Okay, so that's the answer, 2112. So guys, just because we're a little bit short on time, I won't go over this in detail, but later on, yeah, I know you're outnumbered, but we'll get Deadly Squid to do the switch over later on. If you could just kind of keep track, Deadly Squid, and after about 6 questions you've answered, then do the switcheroo. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So again, I'm sorry. Oh, you gotta go, Kung Fu Panda? That's too bad. Okay, thanks for coming. All right, well, take care. And by the way, we'll tell you later on who's who. Okay, so I guess we don't have to have Deadly Squid fill in for the land creatures. So I think we're even at this point. Am I right, guys? Okay, so the periodic table is made up of a column of elements known as groups. Which statement is or not true about the group 1 elements? Okay, so that looks like that's one for the sea creatures, guys. The answer should be B. The one that's not true is they conduct electricity poorly, because group 1 elements, which are metals, conduct electricity well, right? Okay? Does that make sense, guys? Okay, good stuff. On to the next one, and again, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to have to go through this fairly quickly. Calcium, magnesium, and barium are found in column 2 of the periodic table. Helium and argon are found in column 18 of the periodic table. Which of the following statement would not be correct? Okay, so Pistol Shrimp says B, and then we've got 2 B's, 1 A. Inky Octopus, are you on C? Oh, sorry, maybe I moved it. Can you move it now? Okay, so we got 3 B's, and it looks like sea creatures take that one. The answer should be B, and the reason is this one says barium is not a metal, and it says here that barium is found in column 2, and we know that columns 1 and 2 are metals, right? So that it says barium is a non-metal, and so that's incorrect, I should say. Sorry, bad English. All right. So guys, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of rush through the next ones. I'm going to actually answer the next ones for you guys, because it just looks like we're a little short on time and I don't want to run out of time. So I just want to review. If you look at the boxes in the periodic table, you guys remember what these numbers stand for here? We have this number here, which is the atomic number, and this number is the atomic mass. Okay, the atomic number stands for either the number of protons or electrons, and the atomic mass is the number of protons plus neutrons. Okay? So, with that in mind, let's check out the next question. I'll ask you guys a few near the end if we have some time, but I just want to run through these. Okay, so this says an element in the periodic table has the following info in the elements box. It says atomic mass is 27 and atomic number is 13. And it says, which of the following is true? Okay, so is the number of electrons 13? Yes, that would be true, right? Because the atomic number is the number of electrons or protons, right? The number of protons is 14. That's false. It's 13. Number of neutrons is 13. No, because you would subtract the atomic mass minus the atomic number, and that's going to give you 14. So the one that's true is number of electrons is 13. Okay? Good stuff. All right, so again, sorry guys, I'm just going to have to rush through these a bit. Okay, right here I'm talking about being a translator and translating between chemical formulas and words. So I'm showing that this is sulfur dioxide, okay, because it has 2 oxygens, and this is just oxygen. Those are the reactants. And this is sulfur trioxide because you see there's a 3, right? So the question that we have here is we need to translate this into words. So if we were to translate it into a sentence, we would say sulfur dioxide, that's this here, reacts with oxygen to produce sulfur trioxide, or another way of writing the sentence is sulfur dioxide burns an oxygen to produce sulfur trioxide, assuming it was burning. Okay? So the question here says, state the following chemical reaction in words. And what you have to notice about this one is first of all, which ones say products and which say reactants. So we know that HCl and NaOH are reactants, so it's going to be either B or D. And then, so they form the products water and sodium chlorine. Oops, no, that's not right, because it's always got to end in IDE, so it's going to be chloride, so that's why it's going to be answer D. Okay? So this question here, or this part here, is just talking about being able to look at a compound like this and being able to tell how many elements it has and how many atoms of each type of element. Now I made a mistake here. I said there were 5 atoms of hydrogen, and there should actually be 6 because there's 5 here and there's 1 more here. Okay, so the thing we need to know here is there's 3 elements, right? Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And of the carbon, there's 2 atoms. Of the hydrogen, there's 6. And of the oxygen, there's 1. Okay, so if we had a question that kind of tests us on that, this one says, how many elements are there in this compound? Well, there's 1, 2, 3 elements. Okay, how many Cu atoms? There's 1. How many N atoms? There's 2, because remember this 2 says whatever's in the brackets gets multiplied, and so for that reason there's 6 oxygens. Okay? I hope I'm not running by this too quickly, but I just want to finish in time. Okay, so when we talk about chemical reactions, there's 2 different things that can speed them up, either higher temperatures or increasing the surface area. So if you look at a barbecue, that actually illustrates both those points, because you're increasing the temperature to speed up the reaction of the patties cooking, and also you're increasing the surface area because you take steak and then you grind it up into hamburger. That increases the surface area of the hamburger, right, of the meat? Yeah. And so for those 2 reasons, you're going to have a faster reaction, temperature and surface area. So here's a question. It says, which of the following is not an example of a reaction that speeds up as a result of increasing the surface area of a substance? No doubt. Okay, so if you had coal dust, it's going to burn better than chunks of coal. So again, that involves surface area. A log burns better when you break it into small pieces. Hamburgers cook better because you increase the temperature. So all those things are true, but this one doesn't involve surface area, right? It just involves increasing the temperature. Crushed ice dissolves better than ice cubes, and again, that does involve surface area. Okay? So you can see which answer is going to be. Okay, now got about 5 minutes left. So this here is just talking about different types of substances So we have pure substances and mixtures, right? We have two different kinds of pure substances, elements and compounds. Okay, so elements are just one kind of substance, like any one of the elements on the periodic table. A compound is two or more elements joined together. And so these are some examples here. So again, those are pure substances. And when we look at mixtures, we can have mechanical mixtures and solutions. And the difference between the two is a solution looks like it's just one thing. So if you have salt water, it looks like just one thing. Whereas a mechanical mixture like sand looks like two different things. I can see you guys are getting hungry, so and it's actually very, very interesting what Inky Octopus is talking about now, and you'll see why I say that in just a bit. Okay, so we have a question here, guys, that talks about the definitions for each one of these, so I'll let you guys practice that later on, now that we've gone over the material for it. Okay, this question here is talking about basically looking at this compound and being able to predict what this compound is. So we have one nitrogen, one fluorine. And so then this question is saying, okay, well, what would the formula be for this compound here based on that? So the answer should be answer D. Okay, guys, so try to stay with me just for a bit here. You know what I'm going to do, guys? What I'm actually going to do for you guys is I'm going to make up a separate whiteboard session that I record on my own, just so that you guys don't miss all these things, because I didn't realize this was going to take as much time as it would. Okay? So probably the next teacher is going to be coming along soon, and I don't want to mess with their time slots. So I want to show you guys, and I was telling one of you guys that what I want to show you at the end kind of relates to something one of you guys was talking about. And I'm just going to skip to the last page here. Excuse me. Okay, so here's a joke to end us off here. What do you get when you add barium, cobalt, and nitrogen? What do you think? Bacon. That's right. Bacon. There you go. There they are on the periodic table. Right? Bacon. There you go. Here's my chemistry joke. Okay, so I think somebody was talking about bacon. It was Inky Octopus before. Yeah. So guys, thanks a lot for your participation in this. And in just a second, I'm going to let you guys tell me who you are. But again, just wanted to mention, I'm going to make up a separate recording so you guys are able to use that for the next test. Okay, so actually, if you guys... Okay, so we got some guessing going on here. Pistol Shrimp, Austin and Cody. Okay, so Awesome Aardvark is Stephanie. Who else wants to confess? Pistol Shrimp is Ashley. Kung Fu Panda is Austin. Inky Octopus is Cody. Killer Shark is Mitch. And Deadly Squid was Maddie. Are we missing anyone? Did everyone fess up? Were you guys able to guess a lot who everyone was? Cool. All right, guys, thanks a lot for your participation on this. Hope you enjoyed this little bit of a different format here. Good stuff. All right. So, sorry, guys, got a cold. So, guys, probably better, you bet. So, guys, we should probably clear out because the next crew's coming in. All right, well, God bless you guys, and I'll send out this recording as soon as I can, and I'll send out the next one that I make as well. So take care and have an awesome day.